JB don't give a fuck about you weak motherfuckers in the rap game. I cook 'em up, cut 'em down, snort 'em like some cocaine. I'm from California, home of the chronic blunts. Catch me in some khakis, a white tee, and some black chucks. West Coast, homie, never selling out. Motherfucker. Radio play, I'm never selling out. Call me the godson and Paco be the godfather. OD in my stomach while I'm dipping in that low rider. 6 deuce, 6 tray, 6-4, homie. Brought up by Snoop, Easy, and Dre, homie. Living life to the fullest with full clips. Whether you Paru or gang banging with the Crips, Pop the Chronic album, man, let the speakers blow. The game's advocate, Dre, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to ride, just let it no, but if I can't ride with Aftermath, I'm with Death Row.
What's good? It's your boy Nobi, Inf Gang. Today I'm joined by IBJB. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. I'm blessed. You know, I love coming home, man. That's for sure. You know what I mean? Like you said, we coming from Sacktown, but I was born and raised out here. You know what I'm saying? My family is all still out here. My mom's buried on Sacramento Street. You know what I'm saying? Over there by the swamps.
And for the people that don't know, we're talking about Vallejo.
Yeah, V-Town. What up?
Yes, sir.
But
So
yeah.
I mean that kind of starts with the first question. Where are you originally from?
I was born in Solano County. I'm from Vallejo, California. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee Street, right here in Central Vallejo. And I was pretty much, I lost my mom to AIDS in 95. I was born in 89. And, you know, after my mom passed away, I was kind of just handed around like a football to everybody in Vallejo. You know what I'm saying? I got cousins over in the Crest, go over with my mom's side of the family, you know what I'm saying? My uncles that are all from out here, West Vallejo as well. Just going around everywhere until my grandmother Kathy really took me in, and she had me move up to Antelope, California, which is in Sacramento. You know what I'm saying? So, but as you should know already, Inf, it's a blessing to be able to, you know, live somewhere and be raised somewhere that's not in the Bay Area, but still get welcomed, especially in Vallejo. Like that shit is rare, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the Bay Area, they keep a tight knit, you know what I'm saying, hold on where you're from, where your family's from, where, you know what I'm saying, where you're at, where you outside at, you know what I'm saying? So it's important. It's always been important for me to be able to come back to the V and be accepted, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be, you know, with my family or DJ Flashback, you know what I'm saying?
Shout out DJ Flashback.
Absolutely. So it's always been nothing but love from out here. But yeah, man, Vallejo.
So when it comes down to Vallejo, did you get a lot of your musical inspiration from growing up there, or did you?
100%, 100%. I grew up in a household with uncles that were, you know, anywhere from 10 to 15 years older than me. So they were getting tapes from Mac Mall out the trunk, you know what I'm saying? My opinion
The real
was,
stuff.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was out the trunk. So, you know, I always had, you know, E40 in the Click albums, tapes coming through. Doobie, his Sugar Wolf tape, that was always in rotation at the house. And then, you know, Mac Mall is my Tupac, you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, they, you know, as you know, they look up to Pac and they kind of try to, you know, they idolize him and they, you know, they look at him through a different lens. That's how Mac Mall was to me growing up. It wasn't 40, wasn't Bila, you know what I'm saying? And I love them though, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Click, but it was Mac Mall and Doobie.
So when it comes down to Mac Mall being Pac to you,
yeah,
what was the reason for that? Was it because of what he spoke about that connected to you so closely, or what?
Yeah, I was always left alone. Like, especially after my mom died, I was always left alone, like, at random houses. I just always kind of was like a burden to everybody is what I felt like. So I was cool with being alone. But while I was alone, I always had a tape deck on me, you know what I'm saying? Or a Walkman on me, you know what I mean? And his Mac Mall Illegal Business 2000 was one that I kept really close to me. And that shit got me through some of my darkest days, you know what I'm saying? Like almost to the point where I felt like I knew him. Like I felt like we were family, like you know what I mean? So to fast forward and meet him now in real life, it's like, I gotta kind of make sure I get my shit right mentally before, you know what I mean, I engage with him and shit.
And we'll go into that in a little bit too, because
Right.
I know you got some stories about that. So what does your name IBJB stand for?
JB has always been, that's always been just a side name. That's my, that's the initials of my first and last name. So one of my homeboys in junior high, we were playing basketball one day, he was just like, yo, JB, toss me the rock. You know what I mean? And it just, from there, it carried on to the rap scene. But the IB came on about like 3 years ago when we really started putting music out there. It stands for Independently Blessed. That's what the IB is. So Independently Blessed is, that's my team. That's, you know what I'm saying? That's our label. That's what folks know us by. The actual logo was actually done and created by George Peninche, which is Nipsey Hussle's graphic designer. So we reached out to him, had him pull something up. And, when he sent that over, I was like, oh yeah, we need to put that everywhere. I love that shit. So
yeah, that's
man.
fire. So Independently Blessed, is that to do with religion at all, or is it just
you know what? Independent, as you know, like all the music I grew up on was independent artists. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
right.
Out the trunk, whether it be GLP out in Frisco with San Quinn, over to RBL Posse, E40 in the Click, Mac Mall, Doobie, you know what I'm saying? Mac Dre, like the list goes on. And so I felt like it was real important for me to put that out there for anybody who was looking like, okay, so he's independent, like off top. You already know that. And then Blessed, yeah, I was raised Catholic. I was kind of heavy in the church when I was younger, just because my great grandmother Peggy, she used to drag me up there to the Catholic church on the hill out here in Vallejo, just like, hey, sit your ass in this pew. We're gonna kneel down, stand up, sit down type shit. And then when I got to Sacramento with my grandmother Kathy, I ended up going to Valley Christian Academy High School to play baseball. You know what I'm saying? That was my thing coming up. And from there, it was just like, all right, so I've always believed in God, but I've never been like a Bible thumper. You know what I'm saying? And I just feel like blessed is it's a welcoming word. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me, it's a comfortability factor to that. So for me, I'm like, I welcome all. It don't matter what it is. You know what I mean? You could be Buddhist, you could be Jewish, you know what I mean? Whatever the case may be. But for me, we over here, we're independent and we're blessed. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think it's a blessing to really just be alive, man. You know what I'm saying? Like,
definitely.
It's a lot of young niggas, that lost their life around me. A lot of homeboys that we lost, whether it be out in Vallejo or in Sac, growing up with my uncles and OGs and shit like that. You just seeing people like kind of disappear and shit like that. So I'm blessed to be here. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
And, not having a dad growing up, losing my mom, shit like that. Just, I feel like there's a lot of different turns that could have took, you know what I'm saying? And there's a lot of motherfuckers that are locked up or dead right now that had the same situation I had. I just happened to, I happened to make it up out of that, you know what I mean? And
blessed.
So, yeah, I'm blessed.
What ethnicity are you?
I am, so my father is African-American and my mom is Portuguese and Irish.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So 50% black, 25 Irish, 25 Portuguese, you know what I'm saying?
So you got a crazy mix in there.
Yeah, so we were the first, like if you look back at any of my old like Easter pictures, like with my family and shit, it's a bunch of Irish motherfuckers in there with just me and my nappy-headed sister, you know what I'm saying? Like, but they embraced us though. Shout out to my Gaga.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
So you said you came out from Antelope. As far as like going from Vallejo to Sac or like Antelope, whatever, what was the music scene or what is the music scene like out there for you?
It's honestly growing up out there. So Antelope it was North Highlands originally. Okay. So with it being Highlands, before it turned into Antelope, we had Hollow Tip out there, you know what I'm saying? And that's North Sac, so I'm from North Sacramento. But before you get to the north, you gotta come up through the south. So Sibo, you know what I'm saying, was from out there. Brother Lynch hung on the way through. Yeah, X-rated. So for me, Sibo was getting a lot of play, you know what I'm saying, at the crib. Hollow Tip was getting a lot of play. And when you listen to their old shit and you listen to like the Click's second album, Game Related, or Maul's, any of his shit really, like all of that kind of, is groomed into one. I think my favorite album of all time is West Coast Bad Boys Volume 1, executive produced by Master P. Sibo's on that shit with a bunch of Bay Area artists. You know what I'm saying? So
Crazy.
yeah, so it's all the same. It's all in one.
So do you feel like the music scene in Sac is different though, as far as like growing up in Vallejo and Sac? Do you see a lot of differences in that?
As of right now?
Well, just in general.
Yeah, man. You can't. There's no way to duplicate the beats that come from the Bay Area. You know, we got some dope ass producers out in Sacramento, like then and now. But as far as the beats go, even then and now, it's like the major difference for me is the motherfucking beats. But on top of that, I think everybody from in or around Vallejo, just the Bay Area in general, they all have their unique voice. You know what I'm saying? Whether if it's Selly Cell, he got his own voice. E40, it's all unique. You know what I'm saying? Mac Mall got his own voice. Young Lay, you know, he's from Vallejo. He's got his own voice. Like everybody's voice is unique from out here. In Sacramento, once you hear Brother Lynch and Sibo, it's like you can only go, you know, it only tilts so far. But everybody in the Bay, they got their own unique shit going on. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. In your song V-Town, which how long ago did that come out? That was pretty recently. Right?
That dropped on my birthday, actually.
Which was?
February 5th.
Happy birthday.
What I'm saying? I appreciate you. yeah, that dropped on my birthday.
What does that make you sign-wise?
Aquarius.
Aquarius.
Yeah, but I'd rather be a killer whale, though.
I feel that. But yeah, in that song, which I'm assuming you shot the video in Vallejo, right?
Yeah.
You can be seen linking up with Mac Mall, Gary Archer, and a bunch of other people, including McGee. Shout out to her.
And Taji D.
And Taji D. That's right. He was in there. Shout out Taji D.
Yeah.
For you, like, what was the significance behind having them in that video, and how did that situation happen where you got them in there?
I think that's a two-part answer. So, as far as you know, shooting the video, I mean, yeah, it's called V-Town, you know what I'm saying? And it was very important that I brought folks back to my roots. So I'm not sure if you had a chance to watch the full video or not, which was shot by Sergio and edited by Singular, you know what I'm saying, out of the 707 as well. But
shout out sis.
Right. And it was important for me to tell the story of like the day-to-day, what it's like for me when I come out here to visit. You know what I'm saying? From Sac. You know what I mean? That's why in the hook, it's like with Sacktown in my background. You know what I'm saying? So I hit the liquor store right there on Sacramento Street. I always link up with my cousins when when I go hit my mom's grave. And then I felt like it was important to go to my grandmother's street in the swamps over there on Kit Carson. For me, I wanted to pay homage to, a lot of the motherfucking artists that helped save my life. You know what I'm saying? And got me through, like I told you at the beginning, a lot of fucking just alone times, you know what I'm saying? And
well, speaking of Mac Mall especially, right?
Yeah, 100%.
That's where we can double back kind of, and like, how important was that for you to have him in that video? Was that a big moment for you?
It was the biggest moment so far of what we have going on right now. And I wouldn't have been able to do that without McGee. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out McGee.
Yeah, and me and Maul met like 2 or 3 times before the V-Town video, you know what I'm saying, because of McGee. So there was a couple of birthday parties I got invited to, and McGee was like, hey, bring your V-Town record with you. And I brought it with me a couple times. I performed V-Town before it even dropped, like with Maul, even at her birthday, out there at Dolan's Den. Went out there, did that. Maul was throwing her birthday bash for her, so did that. That's why in the video you see us embracing this shit. That's at McGee's birthday. And I was just telling my cousin on the way here, like, I was kind of starstruck, like the first 2-3 times meeting him, you know what I'm saying? Because like I said, that's my pop, but it was real chill, like, to have him pull up to the video. It was nothing. It was a business deal. You know what I'm saying? He's all about his business, and so are we. So, but having McGee and having that connection, I think that's what really tilted him being like, okay, because he'll still, I feel like, pick and choose, you know what I'm saying, if he's going to fuck with your shit or not, you know what I mean?
As he should. I mean, he's been in the game long enough.
Absolutely. Yeah. So it was an honor for me. It was a stripe, you know what I mean, for me.
That's fire.
Yeah, absolutely.
So is that song dedicated to your mom?
That song is dedicated to all of Vallejo.
Okay.
That song is dedicated to yeah, my mom, my family.
Can you go into a little bit about the story with your mom? As
Like
far,
from the beginning, like when I was a kid with
as
her,
far as you
or
lost her early, right?
yeah. So my mom was born in 72. You know what
Okay.
I'm saying? And she contracted AIDS, I believe, when she was 16.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So it might even have been 17 because she had me in 89. You know what I'm saying? And my mom was a single mom. Like I said, I never met my dad before. My mom was the black sheep of the family.
Mm-hmm.
So she was the, you know, my grandma had 4 kids, and of the 4 kids, she was the one that wasn't living at home. She
Mm.
was the one that was in Oakland, all the way through up and down Daly City,
Doing
and
her
then,
own
yeah,
thing.
doing her own thing. You know what I'm saying? And the thing was, is when I was born, we stayed in Vallejo for a little bit with my grandfather, and then she kind of left and went to go do her own thing and left me there with my grandfather George. So we did that, and you know, she was just kind of, if you seen Get Rich or Die Trying, she was kind of like Katrina, like 50 Cent's mom in that movie. Like she just was
In and out.
in the game, man, like a lot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was around all the pimps. She was around all the gangbangers. You know what I'm saying? And growing up with her though, after we left Vallejo and got to Highlands, which you know, turned into Antelope, it was like I mean, man, it was like Kane on Menace to Society, parties in the house, you know what I'm saying? Everybody getting out of prison, they go to your house playing
Mm-hmm.
dominoes when I was, you know what I mean, 4 and 5 at the table with these niggas. And it was a couple of Christmases. I remember, like, we didn't have no presents, but she would make sure that she would decorate. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Like, so we always would have like the snowflakes on the window or the tree and shit. It wasn't shit under the tree, but we were spending time together. You
Doing
know
what
what I'm
she
saying?
could.
Yeah, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And then once the sickness really took over, we ended up at my grandmother Kathy's house in Antelope, and that's pretty much where I stayed at until she passed on. You know what I'm saying?
And when
But
she passed away, what type of effect did that have on you?
I think that's a two part as well. Is okay. So losing her, it made it to where I had to explain to my friends in my school and different people at events that were, you know, bring your parents to, you know, to school day or
Right.
whatever, right? Where's your mom at? Why is your grandma here? You know what I'm saying? And
That's tough.
I was a burden to no matter what they try to say, they love me because I'm like, I try to be a joyful, happy motherfucker, even as a young nigga coming up. But no matter what anybody says, it was a headache to have me around because I had hella energy and I was always running around, you know what I mean? Just always,
ADHD?
yeah, hella bad, you know what I'm saying? Just always running around and shit. And it was just an inconvenience for people, like all the time. I could feel that, you know what I mean? I could feel just being an inconvenience for people. So not having her, you know, that was something that, you know, I would just sit alone and the music would really, really help me out with that. Like I said, just a lot of Bay Area shit. Selsky, listening to Young Selsky, that was one of her favorite artists.
Yeah.
And just playing like cassette after cassette of, you know, music. That shit kept me comfortable. But, you know, not having my dad, I think also just affected a lot of different shit. But it wasn't too bad not having my dad though, because all my uncles, all the OGs that helped raise me, I'd rather have 6 uncles like how I got raising me than have one deadbeat ass dad who ain't really, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, so yeah, man.
Do you feel like that affects you to this day?
Um, yeah, especially on like on her birthday, you know what I'm saying? And now that I got kids, I got 3 girls, you know what I'm saying? And so not having her around to be grandma, you know what I mean, and having to explain to like my kids like, oh, that's your grandma, but it's just a picture.
Yep.
I know they feel cheated, you know what I'm saying, not having their grandmother too, you know what I'm saying? So it's just something that we got to deal with. As I've gotten older, I deal with death a lot better. You know what I'm saying? But still, just like at times I look back. But that's what we doing this for. You know what I'm saying? I feel like when when she died, it was kind of like me and God sat down, and he was like, I gotta take your mom, but I'm gonna give you this gift. I'm gonna show you how to write. I want you to follow these artists, put these artists in your ear, you know what I'm saying? And so it all kind of connected, and I think that's why we doing this, is to build a platform big enough to where we could talk about AIDS openly.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can get to the bag. It's a lot of niggas getting to the bag, and that's the goal. That's where they're at. I get that. That's cool too. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think to each his own on that. So there's no right or wrong. But for me, building a platform to where I could stop the show in a room full of however many motherfuckers and be like, yo, I want to talk to y'all about AIDS awareness real quick. You know what I mean? And have it hit somebody, even if it's just one person in the crowd. And then, you know,
because I'm sure there's a lot of people that deal with that and don't really have an outlet to really discuss stuff like that too.
Absolutely.
And I think also, like, I think you even on your Instagram, like, it says mental health awareness right at the top.
Yeah.
So how important is that subject to you as far as just in your personal life, but also with music?
I wouldn't be sitting right here today if mental health awareness wasn't a part of what we're doing as well, and while we're trying to build this platform. I say that because in 2017, I'll take you even further back. When I was 12 years old, I tried to hang myself with a dog collar, and I tried to kill myself. And my uncle stepped in and helped me out with that. And you know, I didn't find out until 2017 when I tried to hang myself from my grandmother's balcony at her house. I didn't find out that you know, I was suffering from depressed bipolar, and different shit like that. Yeah, and so I spent 2 weeks at the mental health facility in South Sacramento, and my homeboy at the time, Jody, he rolled through every day, man, and was like, yo, when we get done and we get out of here, we got to stop just recording music in this garage. You got to put yourself out there. You got to talk about your mom. You got to build this for folks that are going through shit. And he was there every day, man. He had a full-time job, you know what I'm saying, and a relationship he was in, and was still like, hey, he put everything aside and visited me every day for 2 weeks. Yeah, man, and was like, hey, we got to get you, you know what I'm saying, we got to put this out there and build this platform. So
they don't make them like that no more.
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying, man. And you build relationships with people in there at the mental health facilities and shit like that. Like I got out, and like a week after being out, I ran into this female that I was in there with. She was there for like 5 or 6 days, so she was there at the end of my term. But we didn't say a word to each other. All we did was we caught eye contact at the registers, and she walked out from behind her register and found me in line, and we hugged each other for a good minute, and then went back. So yeah, man, mental health is definitely at the top and the forefront of shit we got going on, for sure.
Yeah, and I think it's very important because a lot of people overlook how important mental health is and can easily like sweep it under the rug.
Right.
And I think being able to put it on the forefront and really be able to discuss it, especially in an outlet or, you know, in a place that's safe, I would say, but also in the open, I think is very important.
Yeah.
I run a men's group, so I've been working on trying to get people to be more open and bring things to the light, because I think you can definitely shorten your life by not allowing those things to come out.
Right.
And luckily for you and me, I mean, I'm not an artist anymore. I used to be, but for you, you're able to like put it pen to pad, you know what I'm saying, and make music that can affect people. And you never know, like you said with Mac Mall, that shit saved your life.
Absolutely.
You know
You beat me to it, man. I wanted to congratulate you on the men's group thing, because if I was closer, I would, even with me being further like that, I do want to try to get involved with that. I think that's a beautiful thing that you're doing, especially in a city like Vallejo. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of unheard of, you know what I mean? And I think it's something that's necessary and needed amongst just the culture out here, you know what I mean, specifically.
Well, and a lot of people just don't want the help. I mean, they want the help, but they don't know how to take that step. And I think somebody like you is a perfect example of somebody that's able to open up and be like, I go through shit too.
100%.
And I think that people need to see that more, because, it's like with emotions and depression and anxiety, it's like that's a weak man's thing. People will say,
Right.
you feel me? But at the end of the day, everybody goes through it.
Everybody goes through it, man.
know?
And, I think that it's important to understand that everybody's different.
Oh yeah.
Everybody is different. Everybody has their own DNA, their own fingerprints. Everybody's just different. But even though you're different, it's okay to have somebody, if they're random or in your everyday life, to just check on you. You know what I mean? And it's also okay to check on yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Wellness checks.
yeah, man, I think that's a wonderful thing to do. That's why that men's group thing, I'm glad you started doing that. I think it's a beautiful thing.
Right on, bro.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Appreciate it. So as far as the music goes, for people that haven't really heard any of your stuff, what would you compare your style to? Because I think you do have a very different style than a lot of the Bay people do. In some of the stuff that I was listening to, I kind of compare it to like Logic in a way, your flow wise and like beat selection, maybe even like a little bit of like Tech Nine in a sense. So what would you, for people who haven't heard your music, what would you compare? How would you describe your style?
I don't try at all to imitate or to be anybody else but myself. So I think I have my own sound. I don't know who I could compare it to. Like you threw out Logic, Tech Nine. I've heard that. I've heard Nipsey Hussle. I've heard.
Well, as far as like, let's say it a different way then. As far as like categorically, how would you say? Are you hustling music? Are you real life music? Or are you just a big mix of whatever comes to your...
I think it's all of the above.
Okay.
I think like these first two mixtapes. So I just dropped the Independently mixtape at the beginning of this year. I think once you hear that and then you hear the Blessed mixtape that's coming in June, I think you'll be able to see like the complete all around 360 view from everything. So on the first tape and first singles I was putting out, I wanted motherfuckers to know, yeah, I could put words together, put pen to pad, and I could rhyme. Yeah, I could pick out some beats that are hip hop-ish. We could rhyme. On that Blessed tape, it's a lot more poppy. It's a lot more club shit. It's a lot more.
Was that intentional, or that was just kind of what your feeling was?
No, it was 100% intentional because I didn't want to box myself at all. I didn't want to box myself in. I'm the type of motherfucker that like, I got dreams and ambition of one day of doing a record with Elton John.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? I got dreams and ambitions of doing shit with Adele. You know what I'm saying? As well as you got your E40s and you got your Mac Malls and you know what I mean? But
the usual suspects.
Yeah, absolutely. But for me, it would be dope to, to do some records with, folks that meant a lot to me coming up too. Because going household to household, I think that's where we get a lot of the music and the sounds from, was like being raised by so many people. It's like one household, you got AC/DC bumping, and in the next household, you got Sublime and Bob Marley. You know what I'm saying? The Commodores and the Temptations in one. You got NWA.
It's a melting pot.
Yeah, man, for sure. So, for me personally, I'm gonna leave the comparing for everybody else to kind of do. But the Blessed tape, I think, is going to open up a 360 view of things we got going on.
Dope. So if people were to check out one song of yours, which one would you tell them to check out? Like something that really represents you well.
Soulful Hip Hop. Remix to that with EA Ski. So I had a phone conversation with him the other day, or not the other day, but a while back. And something he brought up as I'm showing him some of the records, it was just like, whoo, he had to stop that one. It was like, yo, this brings me back. You know what I'm saying? It got me in my feelings. And I was like, got to get him on it. So we in talks with that. But that's also one of my favorite records to perform live. You know what I'm saying? Anytime I perform, I like to perform with a live band.
Dope.
You know what I'm saying? And
so you've done that a lot?
Oh yeah. It's I don't know if it'd be a lot, but like between rehearsals and doing 2 of my own shows, I felt it was important to have a live band. You know what I'm saying?
That's fire, though.
Yeah, man.
A lot of people aren't doing that. But the difference that it makes when you have that. So when you do a live show with a live band, you have the background song playing and they're playing over it? Or how does that work?
I have so Pete Space is my engineer. Shout out Pete Space over that Ominous Studios, downtown Sac. He pretty much we put the instrumentals out, over or under, I guess, the instruments, but he digs into those instrumentals so hard that it sounds really good with the live band. The instruments aren't being overtaken by anything, and so I can have everything. Like I always have a drummer, bass player, and keys with me, but now we're getting into saxophone and electric guitar. You know what I mean? So it's just, for me, it's important for him to kind of dummy the beats down a little bit and just let them feel the tempo out, and then it's a wrap from there. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that a lot. I think live bands with hip hop is always dope, and it gives you a different feeling. A lot of people can't do that though, because the power of like live instruments can overtake your whole voice. So you really got to be like ready to be able to compete with that type of like sound too.
Yeah, for sure. It's really the drums for me. You know what I'm saying? Once you could vibe out with the drummer and get your tempo right, it's repetition after that. It's just kind of what you do. It does feel, you hit the nail on the head though. It is kind of like freestyling, like like a written verse over a beat. You know what I'm saying? But as long as they got that tempo right and you know the words, you can make it happen, Captain.
Yeah, that part.
Yeah.
So as far as what is the future for IBJB?
So we're gonna drop this second mixtape. I got a single coming out with Be Legit called Pacific Coast, and that's gonna piggyback off of, and it's got Lavidi on it too.
Wow. How did you and Be Legit and Lavidi link up?
My uncle Osric did a record with him in 2000. Paid for him, had him and Lavidi come out, do their thing. My uncle, he don't do that shit no more. So once he seen that we was digging into, the Bay Area tough, he reached out to me and was like, I need to get this record in your hand, and let's do this. And I said, on top of giving me that record and that feature, let me shoot the video out in Vallejo too. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna go to Mare Island, do our thing out there.
Classic spot.
Right, absolutely. Right there on the water. And, I feel like that record is gonna help piggyback off of V-Town. The mission is this, Noble, Inf. So check this out.
You can call me Noby.
Nah,
Noby like Kobe.
Noby, come on. My full intention is to sign a lifetime deal with Sick With It. Period.
Big.
I don't need $1 million. I don't need $2 million, $5 million, $8 million. Can I get $100,000 a year minimum on just being with you for the rest of my life, 40? You know what I'm saying? Can I do that? I'm good with that with my family. I'm good with that for just who I am as a person. Like, I'm not gonna live forever. Can't take money with you when you die. And whatever motherfuckers do with that money once you're gone, that shit could either be gone in 2 seconds or it could blow. You never know. But while I'm here, I know living in Cali, hey, I'm cool with $100K a year. But yeah, getting to 40 is really important to me. And because I'm a Sacramento artist that gets love in the Bay Area like that, it's very important for me to pull away from the local artists that are in Sacramento and plant my roots out here in the Bay before we go to LA. And the only way to get to LA and really have a big ass wiffle ball bat to swing is if you got a piggy on your neck. If you got a piggy bank on your neck and that shit says Sick With It, you walk into a room in LA, they gonna respect that. You know what I'm saying? And that's where we're at. So I feel like if there was 3 phases, we're on phase 1 right now. You know what I'm saying? And so
E40, tap in.
Come on. Yeah. I know you seen the Earl Stevens in the V-Town video. We had to. You know what I mean? So
I seen somebody post on my page today that they have Earl Stevens flavored popcorn. I was like, bro, that does not sound good.
Don't do that. Don't do that. That's dangerous. That could be dangerous.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
That could be, what is it, a burgundy color, nigga?
Oh, bro, that shit was oof. So as far as project goes, just so we can wrap up, what's the project that's coming next?
2 projects coming.
Okay.
Really 3. The first project that we're working on right now is that Pacific Coast record with Be Legit and Lavidi. I'm gonna make sure I get the verse right on that. and you know, get that out as soon as possible. The second thing is the Blessed mixtape, which is the
project.
second part. Yeah, that one real poppy, real just, you know, we could go in the club with that shit, or you could bounce with it in your car, you know what I'm saying, however you want to do.
Tight.
Your living room when you're cleaning the house up, however the fuck you feel, you know
You
what I'm
gotta give
saying?
me a copy early. I need
Absolutely,
to peep it.
yeah, absolutely. I'll make sure I send it to you when I send it to Gary, you know what I'm saying? And I got a track with Jay Kent out of Sacramento that I'm really looking forward to doing. It's a single. So yeah, man. But you know, between those three, that's just kind of that's where the team's at. That's where our focus is. But for right now, it's that Pacific Coast record and making sure we get that look on top of V-Town going. You know what I'm saying?
Big stuff popping, bro.
Yeah.
IBJB, I appreciate you sliding through the Noble Cinema Studios. Everybody check him out. I'll have all the links in the description. Any last words for the fans?
Yeah, man. Couple of things. Don't be afraid to love deep and forgive easily. You know what I'm saying? And for any of you young artists out there, I would say two things. Don't expect anybody around you or anybody that's in your family to be a part of your movement. Don't expect them to be a fan, you know what I'm saying, at all. And the other thing I'm gonna add to the young artists going out there is, you know, make sure you take time on the product. Make sure it sounds sonically good. And don't follow the next motherfucker, follow your heart. That's what I would say.
That part.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, JB. It's been a good interview. We'll tap in. Noble Cinema, we out.
Absolutely. Woo!